everyone, Annette Green back again. This time I'm giving you a short video on a couple of Etsy updates. We'll talk about this one in a minute, but this is the feature today, and it is a baby album, a file folder mini album, handmade. It's a tutorial that I'm offering in my Etsy shop. So here's a quick little spin through. This uses the new Graphic 45 Little Ones collection. There's a little envelope here, side loading. There's some pull tags over here. I've done sewing on the sewing machine. That's totally optional. There's little tuck spots for more photos and journaling. It's not super duper interactive. It's just really meant to be an album or a scrapbook for baby. So there's just some cute little tuck spots and folders and pockets. Here's a big pocket page up here. This is a belly band here to slide things behind, but you can see that it's really just about the photos of the baby, right? There's a little tag in a pocket there. I've added lace trim here and there. I'll tell you all the supplies that you'll need if you're thinking about getting this tutorial, which of course is also listed in the Etsy listing. Okay, so there is the album. And in case you're wondering, the size is about 6.5 by 8 inches and then a 1 1/4 inch deep spine. So it's a good size. You can see it in my hands there. Okay, so what would you need to make this besides the tutorial? And by the way, this is my tutorials look like. You download them, you print them yourself. There is a color photo for every step. Everything is very step by step and hopefully easy to follow. And of course, I always put my email on here. If you get stuck, have any questions, you can send me a message. So there's that. So you will need, first off, we'll talk about those file folders, because if you notice, there's pink file folders here, all these little pages. Not every page, but those are your standard 3-position file folders, standard business size folders, and these are pink. Now, if you've ever gone on Amazon, because I've done a lot of file folder projects, you know about Smeed and how many colors they offer. This is the pink that I'm using. They just call it pink, but there's all kinds of colors, you guys. So if you wanted to make this album completely with different colored folders or different papers and different folders, you can certainly do that. So what I like to do, because nobody wants to really run out and buy a box of 100 like I do, is I just will sell you a set of 3. So that's a separate Etsy listing for those that want that. Okay, what else will you need? You will need, if you want to make it just like I did into a baby album, you'll need the new Little One 12 by 12 paper collection from Graphic 45. Note, there are no more stickers, so it's just the paper collection. And then you can use compatible cardstock if you are lucky enough to have all these beautiful coordinating shades. However, I did use the 12 by 12 patterns in solids in Little One from Graphic 45. And then finally, from Graphic 45 to go with that set is the ephemera assortment, which I call the die cut assortment in the directions. Good to have some trims. I am just a ribbon hoarder, so I have a lot of lace. I have some in blue, just regular lace. I've got some wax twine you might want to have. This blue lace is from something super old, probably from Michael's. It had burlap on it, and I've just peeled it apart, and it's perfect match with that collection. Always good to have just some seam binding. You can color that if you'd like, so you don't have to buy a bunch of different colors of stuff. So just whatever you have in your stash there. You will see in the album there's lots and lots of photo mats, and they're all the same indented stitched rectangle shape. It has a cute little stitching around the edges. I've done double mats everywhere throughout this whole album, and to make easy work of that, of course, I used a die from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and it's called the Stitched Indented Rectangles. So I do refer to those a lot. If you don't want to buy this or don't have this, just cut rectangles. It's fine. Also, I used just a little portion of a piece of vellum paper to make this cute little window right here. Let me find something to slide behind here. There's this cute little frosted window with the little bunny peeking through here. That's to stick, you know, whatever, birth certificate, announcement, anything you want to pop in there in this side-loading little pocket. But I did put vellum there, just as a little feature. Of course, all the supplies are listed here and in the Etsy listing before you ever go to buy. Something else you will need if you want to make it look vintage shabby like I did is just some white acrylic paint. It can be anything. Honestly, I used white gesso just because it was the closest within my reach. So it really doesn't matter. And what that would be for is to tone down this pink file folder edge and give it a little shabby white edge with the paint. And honestly, I just did it with my finger. Just dabbed it in the paint and dipped it with my finger very lightly. I did it on all the pink file folders, front and back. And it dries really quick if you do it nice and thin. Something else, of course, you need your basic tools like your scissors and your trimmer and a pencil and the scoreboard and maybe a circle punch. But the big thing is a sanding block or a piece of sandpaper. So I have this very old Coordinations sanding block. Tim Holtz sells one. There's all kinds, but you can really just use a piece of sandpaper. And what I've used this for, a scrap there to show you. I've got my old magazine here. I use it throughout, and I will show you, to kind of scuff up the edges of the paper. It's kind of like inking the edges, but we're taking away the printed paper, and then I would have like a Swiffer thingy to swift this off first. But just to give it that distressed, shabby look, I wouldn't want to go around and paint all those pieces of paper throughout, and believe me, I have done it. That sanding to every piece of paper, every photo mat. See here how it has that white edge? That's just from sanding. Even all this paper, all these edges, they've all been sanded. That's optional. It just gives it that really nice shabby look, and it does set it apart from what's behind it. It just all ties together when you do that sanding. So you need some kind of sanding block. What else? I think that's really it. Okay, so that's that. Now, what if you don't have any need for a baby album? Well, you can certainly, of course, use the directions to create any kind of album. The only thing would be is when you're using these die cuts, they may be different according to a different collection you may buy. Great example of that, if you look at, this is the other newest collection from Graphic 45, Life's a Bowl of Cherries. Oh, I can't wait to make something with this. But you can tell right away when you look at the packaging that these pieces are not always identical. And so, you know, you can make it work for sure, but it's not going to be a direct translation when you're picking the pieces. So just know that. And so that's a great segue into the next thing I want to tell you. So before we move away from this, it's in my Etsy shop, listed as a tutorial now. The file folders are listed now, all set to go. So anyway, speaking of using directions for another album or another idea with different paper, does everybody know about the directions that are free, all the project sheets on the Graphic 45 website? Absolutely free, you guys. I used to design the Club G45 projects. This is one of my designs back when they had Catch of the Day paper. It's a travel folio album, like a traveler's notebook. And this is one of those ones where they sent you, if you had the club kit, you'd get the chipboard already pre-cut pieces for it. But did you know that I sell those SVG files for you to cut those pieces yourself at home now? I got permission from Graphic 45 to do so when it was my design, which this one was. And so if you wanted to make this album with different paper, or even the same paper, you just go to the Graphic 45 website. You pull down on that inspiration tab and it comes down at the very bottom, I think it is, project sheets. Find one, print it out, make it with something else. So this one in particular worked out well because the die cut assortment in Catch of the Day matches exactly the die cut assortment in the Little Things collection. Now this is different than Little One. This is the one with the mushrooms and the cute little little elf guys. I don't know, gnomes, what are they? Little fairies, garden fairies. Anyway, I made the same exact album with this paper and these die cut assortments and the SVG file. So that's something you can do for sure. So I'm going to just flip through this really quick. It's not a tutorial on this one at all because, hey, it's already done. It's already written. Just get this one for free. Buy my SVG file. It's listed as probably the catch of the day. I'll put the link below. Anyway, here's a quick peek. Same. Everything's the same, just different cute paper. Gives it a whole different feel. And these are some of those chipboard pieces that you would cut out on your cutting machine. There's another tag there. Got all this fun stuff going here. This is a pull out on top with a cute little fold open space for all kinds of stuff you want to do there. But you can see all the die cut pieces have been used in a slightly different way, but very similarly, because this is a different collection, of course. There's some of those SVG pieces right there to make those pretty frames. And you got your little pull-out tags here and your side-loading pages. This is a very fun album to make. I had no trouble at all using different papers to make another sweet album with a completely different look. So there's that. And we have, oh, look at this. I love that fussy cut. Then we have these giant tags here, which are also from the SVG file. The die cuts. I used a little bit of gems on mine just to dress them up a little bit. But yeah, isn't that fun? And then this whole waterfall action is the same as the catch of the day one. I just switched up the twine to use like a matching blue waxy twine. But this is a nice little waterfall in the back of this, just like the catch of the day one. So you can do that. You can definitely do that. So I will link everything necessary below for that one to guide you to getting the SVG files. And you got those free directions. I told you it was quick and easy today. Real fast one. All right, so check it out. Hope you try one of these out, or both of them, and have a great time making them. Thanks for stopping in. Have a great weekend. See you soon.